The High Court in Uganda has ordered the Ugandan government to produce missing Kenyan activists Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo within 7 days. The two were abducted by suspected security officers in Kampala, Uganda 2 weeks ago. The orders by Justice Simon Peter Kinobe, who presided over a habeas corpus case filed by two Ugandan lawyers, came even as People's Liberation Party PLP leader Martha Karua demanded action from President William Ruto. Now, activists now say they will lead demonstrations across the country to pressure the government to act and save the two. Also, further 14 days after their abduction in Kampala, Uganda, there is still no word on the whereabouts of activists Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo. Here are some of the pictures from Kampala.
How is one William Ruto, the head of the Jumuiya, yet he allows his citizens to be mistreated by other heads of state? It means he is colluding. He is selling us short. And I want to tell the three heads of state of Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, the Jumuiya was not about you protecting yourselves from criticism by your citizens.
Kenya and Uganda cannot claim to uphold democracy while engaging in abductions and secret detention. Let it be clearly understood, silence in the face of injustice is complicity. The time to act is now. This Thursday, 16th October, citizens, human rights defenders will take to the street across the country to demand the immediate and unconditional release of Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo.
And we are telling the KK administration, style up. It is time to act. And if they don't act, then the public will have to act in whatever way they know. Why should they continue to draw salaries if they're not doing the work they are paid to do? Why take money for work not done?
From Uganda, and that story back home, President William Ruto has hailed KDF as a pillar of Kenya's security and development. The president was speaking. The president reaffirmed the Kenya Defence Forces' central role in safeguarding the nation's sovereignty and driving development, describing the military as the living shield of our republic and the pillar of our prosperity. Ruto praised the soldiers for their courage, professionalism, and patriotism. Speaking Tuesday when he led the nation in honoring the Kenya Defence Forces during KDF Day celebration at Moi Barracks in Eldoret, the president said the event was a moment of deep national pride and reflection on the sacrifices made by men and women in the uniform. Here are the full details to the story.
The government has fast-tracked the acquisition and modernization of defense systems, improved mobility platforms, and strengthened cyber and intelligence capabilities. The battlefield is changing rapidly, and Kenya must always remain a step ahead of emerging threats. We have expanded healthcare in military facilities, accelerated housing projects across services, bases, and barracks, and enhanced family support programs. When a soldier has the comfort of knowing that family is safe and supported, they serve with sharper focus, greater courage, and unshakable resolve. Security and development are two sides of the same coin. Without security, there can be no sustainable development. And without development, insecurity finds fertile ground. The KDF, through their discipline and professionalism, continues to contribute immensely to our national development agenda.
And away from that celebration, now to politics. Gachagua labels Waiguru, Kirinyaga, members of parliament, enemies of Mount Kenya community. And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now says Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru and Kirinyaga County Members of Parliament are enemies of the Mount Kenya community, maintaining his earlier sentiments that the leaders had sold their community to President William Ruto. Speaking during a rally in Kirinyaga County, Gachagua dismissed demonstrations organized in defense of Waiguru and Embu Governor Cecil Mbarire. On Monday, he stormed Kirinyaga Governor Waiguru's backyard of Moya, firing up the crowd that had gathered with anti-government chants. And Gachagua sustained his onslaught on Waiguru, dismissing the misogyny allegations. The former DP also included MPs from Kirinyaga County in his firing line, branding them enemies of the people. Now, Nyandarua Senator John Methu, on his part, said also weighed into the conversation. And Kirinyaga Senator Kamau Murago added also onto the same. The sentiments by Gachagua, initially made on Saturday in Embu County, sparked protests in some Mount Kenya counties, with residents accusing DCP leader of demeaning women. Here are the full details to the story.
Mimi nakuuliza wewe Mombi, tangu Kasongo alete mchele kutoka Pakistan ndio watu wa Moya waumie, ulikosa wakina mama hata 300 wakuje kwa barabara wapige kelele Kasongo aone aibu. Kama wewe unashikana na Kasongo alete mchele kutoka Pakistan watu wa Moya waumie, wewe ni msaliti si msaliti? Wewe ni msaliti si msaliti? Na mimi nasema wewe ukuwe mwanaume, uwe mama, wewe kama ni msaliti, msaliti ni msaliti. Wewe governor and MPs ya Kirinyaga, nyinyi ndio adui kubwa ya watu ya Moya na watu ya Kirinyaga. You are the enemies of the people of Kirinyaga and our people. Governor mzima anaambia kina mama, ndio niwapatie pesa shilingi 500. Lazima mlale kwa barabara na mjigaragalie. Wewe.
Hakuna mtu asiyofaa, na asiyofaa kafaa. Na ile kudhalilishwa tulionyeshwa jana na Governor Waiguru alitufanya aibu kubwa sana.
Away from that now to Nyikal to Duale. Goal is to fix SHA, not win debates. And National Assembly Health Committee Chairperson Dr. James Nyikal on Tuesday moved to diffuse tempers after a heated altercation between Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale and Kitutu Chache South MP Anthony Kibagendi nearly descended into a fist fight during a session on the troubled Social Health Authority. At the height of the tension, a visibly angry Kibagendi rose from his seat and advanced towards Duale, declaring, "Duale, mimi huwezi nitishia. I fear no one." Attempts by fellow MPs to restrain him proved futile as his confrontation threatened to disrupt the sitting. Duale, who maintained that he could not be intimidated, accused the MP of being part of a network of individuals undermining government efforts to reform the health sector. The remarks appeared to have icked the MP, who retorted, "You can charge me. I don't own a hospital. You think you can intimidate us? We don't fear you." The fiery exchange erupted as committee members pressed the CS of alleged massive fraud within SHA, the agency now responsible for administering 3 key funds: the Primary Healthcare Fund, the Emergency, Chronic and Critical Illness Fund, and the Essential Health Services Fund. These funds, estimated at more than 20 billion Kenyan shillings collectively, are designed to expand access to affordable health care under the government's universal health coverage plan. Duale has previously said that investigations had uncovered fraudulent claims running into hundreds of millions of shillings, with some health facilities allegedly billing for ghost patients and non-existent services. Several facilities have since been closed as part of an ongoing crackdown. As the confrontation intensified, Duale proposed that Kibagendi be ejected from the meeting, but Dr. Nyikal overruled the CS, asserting that it was not within his mandate to dictate how parliamentary proceedings should be conducted. After restoring order, the chair directed Duale to proceed and table his statement on the steps the ministry was taking to address the alleged fraud. Ensure Duale, a former leader of majority in the National Assembly, cited parliamentary standing orders insisting that members with conflicts of interest should be disciplined. Here are the full details to the story.
Your Excellency, Honorable Duale, we are not your kids here to come and unatusomea kama watoto wako.
My kids are not. My kids are not.
And we will not. You are a hostile witness.
My kids.
We will not allow you to continue intimidating this committee. We will not allow you.
I will not allow you to. I will not allow you to extort and blackmail the Minister of Health.
Who is extorting you?
You are extorting the Minister of Health.
Who is extorting you? Nonsense is what you've been selling out here. We will not allow you. Honorable,
you have a conflict of interest.
Who has extorted you?
We have closed your hospitals.
Who has extorted you?
We have
order.
We have closed your hospitals.
Me, I have no hospital. No hospital. We will not allow you to continue with this
close your hospital.
I have no hospital.
And we will charge you
even a dispensary. I have never owned even a dispensary.
We have closed your hospitals.
We will not allow you. Just because you are the president.
You are the extortion.
We will not allow you. You are the extortion.
Please.
This is nonsense.
You cannot.
Witness to come here.
The chair, I'm chairing this, and I asked you.
Not chairing. He's the one who is chairing.
No.
He's telling you what to do.
No.
It is true. You are intimidated by this man.
No.
Just because he's a president, Kenyans needs to know Duale is messing up health.
It is utterly unfair for you to send Honorable Kibagendi out and have the CS stay here, because they were the two of them. It was a shouting match between two people.
I cannot be intimidated by a member. I come to answer a question in accordance with Article 153. The member for Nandi has she has the right to ask me questions, and I will answer them. But she can't intimidate me.
And he keeps taking swipes on the members of this house. Honorable Chair, he needs to make a decision whether he wants to come back to this house or serve this nation as an executive member.
The only arm of government I cannot serve is the judiciary, because I'm not a lawyer. I can go back to Waziri Township and win.
Waziri,
I want to tell you are
going out of order.
I can win and come
it is
back
me
here.
who is making decisions.
Proceed.
I've told you to proceed.
You can't intimidate me.
I've told you to proceed.
She's a junior member, talking to a ranking member.
Point of order, Honorable Chair. Point of order, Honorable Chair. I do not feel safe right now in the presence of the Honorable CS, who keeps imputing improper motive on my term, whether first or fifth, it does not matter. I am here legitimately, and he cannot continue taking swipes on me.
Nobody can bully me, particularly when you are conflicted, when you have facilities.
Point of order,
and some of the
Chair.
members of this committee have facilities.
Point of
if
order,
you want me to name
Chair.
them, I will name them and I will give it to you.
Point of
and
order,
they should not
Chair.
be this committee.
Honorable Chair, it's a defensive mechanism for the CS. He is the chief intimidator, and he claims that you're intimidating him so that he can intimidate you.
Me, I fear no one.
Let's take the next
This
step.
nonsense you're bringing to this country.
Honorable.
Well, that is a preview of the August House of our country. Away from that, now to Cameroon. Opposition's Chiroma claims election victory, urges Biya to consider. And Cameroon opposition candidate Issa Chiroma declared victory late on Monday in the country's October 12th presidential election, urging President Paul Biya to accept defeat and honor the truth of the ballot box. Quote, "Our victory is clear. It must be respected," Chiroma said in a speech on his Facebook page from his hometown of Garoa in the north of the Central African state. "The people have chosen and this choice must be respected." Chiroma, a former government spokesperson and employment minister in his late 70s, broke ranks with Biya earlier this year and mounted a campaign that drew large crowds and endorsements from a coalition of opposition parties and civic groups. And without naming Chiroma, Biya's Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, on Tuesday condemned the self-declared victory as a gross hoax, adding that only the Constitutional Council is enabled to proclaim results. It is an inadmissible act in a state governed by the rule of law, CPDM spokesperson Jacques Fame Ndongo said in a statement. The Minister of Territorial Administration also criticized Chiroma in a separate statement and praised and promised to maintain public order and ensure the protection of people and their property during the electoral period. And away from Cameroon now to Madagascar as the military takes power, fleeing president impeached. And the full details are as an army commander who led a mutiny in Madagascar said on Tuesday the military had taken power after President Andry Rajoelina was impeached by lawmakers and forced to flee the country following weeks of youth-led protests. Rajoelina had refused to step down despite escalating young persons' demonstrations demanding his resignation and widespread defections in the army. And continuing, Randrianirina later told reporters a committee led by the military would rule the country for a period of up to 2 years alongside a transitional government before organizing new elections. And in a day of turmoil for the nation of South Africa's coast, the 51-year-old leader whose whereabouts are unknown earlier sought to dissolve the lower house by decree, but lawmakers went ahead with a vote to impeach him, leaving the country in a constitutional deadlock with the military seized upon to declare they were taking a charge. These are the stories that are making headlines in the dailies this morning, and we started off with the Standard. And the headlining story in the Standard is close to what happened in the August House yesterday, as the headlining story says, Duale bully in chief. And tempers flared in Parliament as Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale clashed with MPs during a stormy Health Committee session, trading insults and accusations of intimidation. Now, the dramatic exchange, which saw lawmakers walk out in protest, laid bare deep tensions over the troubled Social Health Authority, with MPs accusing the minister of arrogance and contempt while he dismissed them as junior members unfit to question him. That is a story that you'll find on page 6 of the Standard this morning. And the CS is pictured, as well as MP Kibagendi. From that, our father has anger problems and arrow attack. Relatives described Kiduka Kimunyi as a troubled loner whose actions hinted at mental instabilities. And that story you'll find on page 4 and 5 of the Standard this morning. And away from the Standard, now to the Daily Nation, who are looking at the same story a little bit differently. Killer linked to State House. Now, murder. A slain GSU officer, Ramadan Matanka, was the son of a former State House employee. He first worked at the state residence after completing high school in 2019 during a cleanup campaign where he met and befriended Kiduka Kimunyi, Later, he joined the elite squad guarding the premises where his life was cut short. That is a story that you'll find on pages 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation this morning. As well, most popular senior school pathway and pupils of Areno, which is the most popular secondary school pathway. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM is the most popular pathway among grade 9 learners. Some 569,000 students have opted to study STEM in senior school after 437,000 have chosen social sciences, and some 121,000 students want to specialize in arts and sports. Officials have promised a smooth transition to grade 10 next year. Some 9,000 public secondary schools have been clustered into 4 categories: C1, C2, C3, and C4. That story you'll find on page 7 of the Daily Nation this morning. Among other stories, benefits, push for sacked civil servants to receive pension, and in health, Duale battles share corruption, claims by MPs, conflict. Kenyans who went to war for Putin speak out. A former police officer recounts his experience at the front line in the Russia-Ukraine war. Officials say at least 29 Kenyans are caught up in the crisis. All right. That is a story that you'll find in the Daily Nation this morning. And that brings us about to the end of the stories that are making headlines in the dailies. And when we come back from the break, we're coming back with some of the highlights in the matches that were played in the World Cup, the Africa World Cup qualifications. Clinical Ivory Coast trampled helpless Kenya to seal World Cup qualification. And reigning Africa Cup of Nations AFCON champions Ivory Coast sealed their place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup extravaganza in the US, Mexico, and Canada with a commanding 3-0 victory over Kenya in their last Group F match on Tuesday at the Alassane Ouattara Mbimpe Olympic Stadium in Abidjan. Now, the win assured Ivory Coast's return to the World Cup after their absence from the previous 2 editions in Russia and Qatar. Now, the game kicked off with immediate intensity as Ivory Coast took the lead just 7 minutes in. Manchester United winger Amad Diallo made a run down the left flank and delivered a low pass into the box for Frank Kesey, who calmly slotted the ball past Kenyan goalkeeper Boni Omondi. And the early goal set the tone for the match, with the Ivory Coast dominating possession and dictating the pace. Despite this, Kenya's defense worked hard to contain the Ivorians, but they were constantly under pressure. And away from that to exactly which were the results from yesterday matches, because others were played as well as and in other matches they included Seychelles being beaten 7-0 by Gambia, and Somalia lost 1-0 to Mozambique. South Africa beat Rwanda 3-0. Algeria beat Uganda 2-1. Nigeria beat Benin 4-0. Guinea drew 2-2 with Botswana. Gabon beat Burundi 2-0. And Ivory Coast, the match that I spoke about, beat Kenya 3-0. And the DR Congo beat Sudan 1-0. And Morocco won 1-0 against Morocco. And Senegal beat Mauritania 4-0. When we come back on Friday, in our Friday edition, Sporting Mandela will be telling you exactly who qualified for the World Cup that is going to be played in 2026. That is in North America, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. That's your sport this morning. When we come back, we're coming back with you with and your morning quote. Give it science.